We continue with the second part of the chapter. We had stopped at page number 49. So let's see what happens once they return and they come back the next day. In between also the 2 days, what events take place. When Ranchi got home, he found it difficult to explain the cuts and bruises that showed on his face, legs and arms. So both of them were equally hurt. They had bruises on their face, they had scratches on their body. So parents were asking what had happened, so they did not have any explanation to give. It was difficult to conceal the fact that he had been in an unusually violent fight and his mother insisted on his staying at home for the rest of the day. So it was very difficult. Like anybody with the look of it would know that they had got into a fight and they had hurt each other. Concealing means hiding. So mother would say like you stay at home only. That evening though he slipped out of the house and went to the bazaar where he found comfort and solace in a bottle of vividly colored lemonade and a banana leaf full of hot sweet jalebis. So if you have visited villages, then there are typical kind of things which you will find over there. The lemonades, the soda bottles and colored lemonades, and then you have vendors selling jalebis and then bhajiyas and all. So he somehow sneaked out of his house and then he went to the bazaar. Then some kind of a relief he got by drinking the colored lemonade and eating hot jalebis. He had just finished the lemonade when he saw his adversary coming down the road. Adversary is the rival. And who was the rival? That stranger boy. His first impulse was to turn away and look elsewhere. His second, throw the lemonade bottle at his enemy. So the first reaction he wanted to give is just see somewhere else and ignore them. But the second attempt he wanted to throw that bottle of lemonade at his enemy. But he did neither of these things. Instead, he stood his ground and scowled at his passing adversary. Scowling means giving an angry look. So he was looking at him and then wanted to show that still I am ready to fight. I am not ready to give up. And the warrior said nothing either but scowled back with equal ferocity. So he was not also giving up. That fierceness could be seen on the stranger's face also. He also gave back the same look. The next day was as hot as the previous one. Ranji felt weak and lazy and not at all eager for a fight. Now he knew that the capacity of the body was not that strong that he could carry on the fight the next day with all those bruises and wounds, and moreover heat was adding fuel to the fire. His body was stiff and sore after the previous day's encounter. So obviously when you had a fight with somebody and your body is not that flexible now, it's hurt and then it doesn't have enough courage to fight back. But he could not refuse the challenge. Not to turn up at the pool would be an acknowledgement of defeat. If he would not go to the pool, it was indirectly declared that the stranger would be the winner of the fight. He did not want this thing to happen. From the way he felt, just then he knew he would be beaten in another fight. So he somewhere down the line knew that if he would get into the fight again, then he would be accepting defeat. But he could not acquiesce his own defeat. So like this word means accept quietly. He had to go and fight, and then like a warrior's, like kings used to feel that even though I am dying in this particular battle, but still I fought back. So that kind of a feeling was there in his heart. He must defy his enemy to the last or outwit him, for only then he could gain respect. So he said, like, can he outsmart him? Either one of the things can be, or he should see to it that his enemy accepts defeat. Some or the other way he has to see to it that he wins the fight. If he surrendered now, he would be beaten for all the time. But to fight and to be beaten today left him free to fight and to be beaten again. Like it's generally amongst the boys that if you accept defeat, they will keep bullying you every now and then, either with words or they would again get into a physical assault with you. So they would physically assault you again. So he pretty well knew that if he would accept defeat, he would have to take the insults again and again, and there were chances of he getting beaten up by the boy again. As long as he fought, he had a right to the pool in the forest. So he decided, let's go and fight it out. He was half hoping that the warrior would have forgotten the challenge, but these hopes were dashed when he saw his opponent sitting stripped to the waist on a rock on the other side of the pool. The warrior was rubbing oil on his body. He saw Raji beneath the sal trees and called a challenge across the waters of the pool. So he was there. He had not worn anything till the waist, so his upper torso was. He was applying oil to it. You know what's the logic of applying oil? When an opponent would try to catch you, your hands would slip off. So he was sitting on the opposite side of the pool. So he called immediately Ranji as soon as he said, "Then come, let's fight. Come over this side and fight," he shouted. But Ranji was not going to submit to any conditions laid down by his opponent. He's gone there to fight. Why would he agree with him in the very first place? So he said, "I am not agreeing with you on this particular thing. Swim across and fight me here," called the other, "or perhaps you cannot swim the length of this pool." So now each of them is making a mockery of the other one, saying that if I think you cannot swim the length of this particular pool, that's why you're not coming this side. If you have the courage, come and fight from this side. But Ranji could have swum the length of the pool a dozen times without tiring, and here you would show the warrior his superiority. So now Ranji has been taken aback by this comment of his. He was a very good swimmer. He could dive in well. So he now wanted to flaunt off his capacity of swimming. So slipping out of his vest, he dived straight into the water, cutting through it like a knife, and surfaced hardly with a splash. Those who are good swimmers and those who know how to dive well, when they dive into the water, they don't splash water. They just cut into the water and very smoothly come out without splashing the water. So when he did this, it left the opponent, the warrior, the stranger, in this amazement over there as to how could he so smoothly dive in and come out. The warrior's mouth hung open in amazement. "You can dive?" he explained. "It is easy," said Ranji, treading water, waiting for a further challenge. "Can't you dive?" Now, the conversation has become a little friendly, or I would say actually inquisitiveness to know how could you dive in so smoothly. So he asked the stranger, Ranji asked the stranger, "Can't you dive?" "No," said the other. "I jump straight in, but if you tell me how, I will make a dive." So like he jumps in, like those who don't know how to dive, they just jump. Jump legs in first, or they splash in the water. They can hit their tummy also over there on the water. He said, "I just jump off. I don't know how to dive." "It is easy," said Ranji. "Stand on the rock, stretch your arms and allow your head to displace your feet." So you can see that in the picture over there. She said, spread your arms like this and then raise your feet and then allow your head to go in first rather than the feet. The warrior stood up stiff and straight. Flexibility is a must for swimming. Stretched out his arms and threw himself into the water. He landed flat on his belly with a crash that sent the birds screaming out of the trees. So when you fall in the water straight on your tummy, it actually splashes a lot of water as well as it hurts your body as well as creates a lot of sound. So this noise led the birds flying from the trees over there because he had totally gone in, because he jumped stiff bodied, so he just landed horizontal on the water. Ranji dissolved into laughter. Everybody seeing this would have laughed, so he started laughing. "Are you trying to empty the pool?" he asked as the warrior came to the surface, sprouting water like a small whale. So whale actually sprouts water, and then when he saw this particular fall of his or jump of his, it was no more a dive. He said, "Are you trying to empty the pool? Are you splashing the entire water outside?" "Wasn't it good?" asked the boy, evidently proud of his feat. He thought that was a good jump. "Not very good," said Ranji. "You should have more practice. See, I will do it again." And pulling himself on a rock, he executed another perfect dive. The other boy waited for him to come up, but swimming under the water, Ranji circled him and came upon him from behind. So Ranji was a good swimmer. He went underwater only. He first dived in. He went underwater and then he came exactly. He emerged from where that boy was standing from behind him. "How did you do that?" asked the astonished youth. Now he was amazed to see this one also, that he can swim underwater as well. "Can't you swim underwater?" asked Ranji. But I will try." He says like, "No, but I'll try." The warrior made a tremendous effort to plunge to the bottom of the pool, and indeed he thought he had gone right down, though his bottom, like a duck's, remained above surface. Underwater swimming is not everybody's everybody's part of the parcel over there. Everybody can't go underwater. Your body has to have that kind of porous bones which will allow you to go right till the surface and then emerge from there. And your ability of you swimming within the water is like very few have that. So this boy thought, the stranger thought that he was underwater, but his back portion was above the water only. Little did he know that he did not even go underwater. So, but he was like he was very proud that he was underwater, but the reality was different. Ranji, however, did not discourage him. So now he did not laugh at him, he did not discourage him. It was not bad, he said. You need a lot of practice. Will you teach me? Asked his enemy. If you like, I will teach you. You must teach me. If you do not teach me, I will beat you. Will you come here every day and teach me? Still, that attitude of boasting up doesn't go away of the stranger. He says, if you don't come tomorrow and teach me every day and teach me, I will beat you. If you like, said Ranji, they had pulled themselves out of the water and were sitting side by side on a smooth grey rock. My name is Suraj, said the warrior. What is yours? It is Ranji. I am strong, am I not? Asked Suraj, bending his arm so that a ball of muscle stood up, stretching the white flesh. So he was doing this saying, am I not strong? Because he was actually asking in the context of he getting the blow from him. So could you guess that I am strong or not? You are strong, said Ranji. You are a real Pahalwan. One day I will be the world's champion wrestler, said Suraj, slapping his thigh. So he was like doing this action which shook the impact of his hand. He looked critically at Ranji's hard, thin body. You're quite strong yourself, he conceded. But you are too bony. So he said, like, you don't have fat only, you're too thin. I know you people do not eat enough. You must come and have food with me. I drink 1 seer of milk every day. So the seer in English is being said like a typical village language would be 1 seer. This thing has been given down over in the meaning a little less than a liter. So what is his diet? I drink 1 seer of milk every day. We have got our own cow. Be my friend, I will make you Pahalwan like me. I know if you teach me to dive and swim underwater, I will make you a Pahalwan. That is fair, isn't it? So there is a trade going on between these two, barter system. You teach me how to swim, I will make you a Pahalwan. That is fair, said Ranji, though he doubted if he was getting the better of the exchange. He knew that he was going to profit out of it by learning how to swim. But making a Pahalwan, that's not a thing which can be done within a few days. It needs rigorous training and that diet needs to be continued. So he had a doubt whether he was on the profitable side or not. Suraj put his arm around the younger boy and said, we are friends now, yes? They looked at each other with honest, unflinching eyes, and in that moment, love and understanding were born. So they were looking straight at each other. First, they looked straight at each other to fight with each other, but next time when they saw each other, they had that friendliness and love in their eyes. Be a friend, said Ranji. The birds had settled again in their branches, and the pool was quiet and limpid in the shadow of the sal trees. So the clarity of the water could be seen again. It is our pool, said Suraj. Nobody else can come here without our permission. Who would dare? Who would dare, said Ranji, smiling with the knowledge that he had won the day. You remember he had come with a plan of action over there. If not physical, then some way down mentally I need to break this person. So he had succeeded on that day. So physically, if the fight would have been would be taken up by both the boys, still Ranji knew that he would lose to that person. But when he used his brains, then he knew that if I would use my brains, then I would definitely have an upper hand on the situation, and he did succeed in winning the fight. So though the trade was not that profitable for him, but yes, he won the fight because he could bring it to a conclusion. So that's how we finished the chapter. Read the chapter thoroughly. Who said to whom, and the characters names and the places names so that you can do your exam well. Thank you.